only friend, Calvin. You're the only one in this whole world that I trust. Now that you're in...
I'm not in.
I know, but they think you're in.
But I'm not.
Probably one of those perception versus reality things happening right now.
I am out! Which car are we taking?
Not that one.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. Oh! You chose to be an international CIA spy.
Because I don't like bullies.
You were like Jason Bourne and George. Did you see that, Mom? I did the thing! I did the thing, Mom!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Do you remember those backflips you used to do? Let's do the flip!
Welcome to another episode of Red Reviews. Today, taking on the kind of buddy cop comedy Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart. I'm not the biggest fan of Kevin Hart. His comedy is so-so. It's hit or miss with me. But who doesn't love The Rock? I was like, he could be in like the biggest piece of crap movie of all time, and then he flashes that $1 million smile your way, and yeah, it's impossible not to love him. Go ahead. Someone comment down below that you don't love The Rock. You know, don't comment on a movie that you didn't like that he was in. But even his particular role, like I said, in movies that aren't very good, he is awesome in. So it's impossible not to love The Rock's. And actually, I did enjoy Kevin Hart in this movie. I didn't have high expectations for this movie at all because the buddy cop comedy type of movie has been played out with Lethal Weapon and things like that who've done it fairly well. So when it comes to this, it's either hit or miss. And so, of course, with the title like Central Intelligence, we know there's going to be some spy stuff going on. But when it comes to movies like this, and kind of like the movie Spy with Melissa McCarthy, who, spoiler alert, does make a cameo at the end of this movie. But with those, it's not always about the plot. And rarely it is about the plot. It is always someone trying to steal something or sell something on the black market. In this case, I think they're trying to sell the codes to all the satellites in the world, so whoever buys them can shut them down and then launch a terrorist attack. But it's never about that. It's always that's sort of what's happening in the background that drives our characters into these funny situations. And these funny situation here is we have The Rock, who was a fat kid in high school, and you see that in the trailer. And then you had Kevin Hart's character, who was the popular kid in high school, which is fun take on it because it's actually backwards from what you think. Is here the short, sort of unathletic guy was really the athletic, popular kid, and The Rock, who is The Rock, was actually the fat kid in high school and didn't have any friends. So it's fun to take that twist on it. And here we are, fast forward 20 years later, after this prank has been pulled in the high school 20 years ago. You know, The Rock didn't have any friends, so he's a fat kid. They pulled this prank, and then everyone laughed at him. And Kevin Hart's character was the only one that came to The Rock's rescue. So like I said, fast forward 20 years later, and The Rock looks like The Rock. So he's got himself in shape, at least the character's in shape. And so he's come to Kevin Hart's character because it is their high school reunion, his 20-year high school reunion. But he plays on that fact is he really needs Kevin Hart's help to try and track down, because Kevin Hart's character is this forensic accountant. He needs help to track down these codes because there's a bid going on for, like I said, whatever that's driving the story along. The bid that's going on that they're going to be able to get this code that's going to take over all of the satellites. And that, like I said, that story part is not important at all. What's important is the relationship of these two guys. So since the story doesn't really matter in these situations, what is important? It's the chemistry between our lead characters. In a buddy cop, you want that. And Kevin Hart and The Rock do a really good job. You can see that they are friends. And one thing I'll point out, we'll skip right ahead to the end. The end is that they show, you know, outtakes. And I like when movies do that. I like when the Jackie Chan movies used to do that. And they don't show bloopers and stuff as much as they used to. And I enjoy that in this one when they show them. And you can see that even, you know, between them in the outtakes and off screen, they had some good camaraderie. They look like a real friendship. So, and you can see it even in their press interviews, they're giving each other a hard time. So it looks like they were friends beyond the camera rolling. So, and that helps translate over real well when you have this type of buddy cop comedy. So they do really well together. As we move the story along, of course, like most kind of spy buddy cop, or even just spy movies in general that are based around the comedy genre, you can see the beats move along as who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, who do we trust. You know, they think maybe The Rock is who they're after at one point. Maybe he's this Black Badger, the bad guy, and you know, we don't know. Maybe it's the CIA agent hunting him down who's the hard ass on him. Why is he being such a hard ass? Maybe that's the Black Badger. But if you pay attention pretty carefully, you can kind of guess who the end villain will be. So there's this little twist at the end, but it's kind of easy to call. But you don't go into this movie with twists and turns and to blow your mind. You want it for the laughs, and I did chuckle quite a bit throughout this movie. So we'll get to the comedy part because this is a comedy, and like I said in other reviews of comedies, if you're not making me laugh, you're not doing your job, and I have to be a little hard on you. This movie being a comedy, I laughed. I did laugh quite a bit. And I laughed at some Kevin Hart stuff, and I laughed at the Rock stuff. So it was an equal amount. Like I said, they play really good off each other. So this movie did its job well. One thing this movie actually did, I think, a little bit better than the comedy was a surprising amount of heart, and not just Kevin Hart, but actually Heart that's in this movie. Because what they're playing on is how we act in high school versus the perceptions that we have so many years later of the people we went to high school with. So they run into like a bully from high school, and he's still a bully. You know, Kevin Hart was his really what The Rock thought was his only friend in high school. So the levels that he still believes that, and so so like close your eyes for a second, and I'm gonna shoot. We'll play some word associations like they do at one point in this movie. So if I say, think back to high school, picture the bully, picture the prom queen. Picture the nerd, picture the weirdo, picture the hot girl, and you can still do it. And you can picture them just as they were in high school. And that's fun in this movie is they really focus on that as how our perceptions of people, even after so many years after being out of high school, as while I was doing it, you can still picture them exactly, all those people, the jock and the prom king and the prom queen and the bully, the one who bullied you that you never forgave. You know who it is. And so that movie plays on that real well, and I like that. I was unsurprised at how much heart was going to be in this movie. I keep saying that, and all I can think of is like all the Kevin Hart jokes that you make. And I was like, oh, but it's a little heart. And I was like, no, it's got a big heart and a little heart and a big Johnson. That was actually in the trailer, so I can't take credit for that joke. But actually, go out and watch Central Intelligence. I can actually recommend this one. If you're a fan of The Rock, you'll love it. If you're a fan of Kevin Hart, you'll love it. Even if you're not a fan of either of them, like I wasn't so much Kevin Hart, I still enjoyed it. If you enjoy the spy action, it's got its spy action parts. Of course, it's The Rock, so he's going to throw some fists. He's going to shoot some guns. And so if you enjoy a comedy, you're going to like that. If you enjoy action, you're going to get that. So movie doesn't disappoint. I'm going to give it a solid B. It's just, it is, at its core, a comedy buddy action. So, I mean, it's, I don't know what you'd have to do to get in the A range. Probably, I don't know what you'd have to do to get in the A range. Maybe I just don't think the buddy cop comedy, even when it's at its best, is a B, which would I rate this movie at. I don't know what you'd have to do to get to an A. Maybe I just think that is a lesser genre, or at least a subgenre of the comedy or the action or the police movie. So anyway, a B is a fair score. And like I said, I laughed, and I'm a tough critic, so you'll probably laugh. So go out and check out Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart. Big Heart, Little Johnson. Little Johnson, Big Heart. Big Johnson, Little Heart. However you want to put it. No more jokes. Apparently it's late and I gotta go to bed. So I'll catch you guys next time right here on Red Reviews.